I'm here with Trevor. This is my IT guy. He helps do my videos and stuff. And to make $100,000 on the side part time, and we're going to talk about it. And the reason I have Trevor here, he was with me when we were doing some of these antiques, flea market, and yard sales. And the first thing right off the bat, I didn't even know this guy. The first week I said, okay, come on, I'll help you out. He wanted to do my audios and stuff. I had him come down, and I think that weekend you were here, what?
I was here about 2 weeks before you left for Dallas.
And what time did we start in the morning?
Oh, you're talking about the antiques. I'm sorry. I was trying to share this to your 30 sales a month group. You're talking about the flea markets. I was here at 4 o'clock in the morning.
4 o'clock in the morning. I said, if you're going to go, you got to get up and make hay with the sunshine. So I had him at flea markets, yard sales. And what I want to stress to you, I said, once you make a decision, you do it now, right off the bat, now. And Trevor's been with me a couple of months, but it don't matter if I have somebody calling on real estate or something. When they say, when you want to look at, what do I always say?
Today. I got the check ready.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing too, is, anybody can make $100,000. I know multimillionaires that are very, very successful that have done antiques, flea markets, and yard sales. And you just got to start with it. And you got to think big. And to be honest with you, real right up front, I met a young guy 3 weeks ago. He made $1,000 by 10 o'clock in the morning, and he's 12 years old. And I was impressed because he said, I'm going to retire by the time I'm 25. And he said, I don't work that hard because I have to go to school and I like sports. So how can a young 12-year-old guy have a vision of thinking big that he's going to retire when he's 12 years old? Well, I'll tell you why, because he's got the I can attitude and he's going to do it. I don't think anybody's going to stop him because, hell, he had $1,000 made by 10 o'clock.
Yeah.
And
it's impressive for a 12-year-old.
Oh, absolutely. And I tried to get Trevor. I said, look, there's a lot of stuff you can do out there that's free, and tell him about your what you did.
Within a week of starting to hear Fran teach me about these different techniques and going to these yard sales and flea markets, I had my eye out. It was a Saturday morning, and I was driving to the bank to get some money out, and I saw a yard sale. So what did I do? Fran flashed through my brain. I said, I'm going to stop. I'm going to see what they got. And lo and behold, she had a table full of free stuff. I found 5 boxes of VHS tapes. I took those, I put them on Facebook Marketplace and Craigslist, and I said, hey, I'll sell them for $1 a pop. There was about 150 VHS tapes. I found a kid that was willing to give me $20 and a used iPod Touch for it. The only thing that was wrong with the iPod, the home button was broken, but that's easy fix with the assistive touch. I ended up flipping it, and I made over $100, about $120 profit off of 5 free boxes of VHS tapes. So, and that was a week after meeting Fran. I wouldn't have stopped if it wasn't for hearing what he told me, and good stuff.
See, well, it never would have happened if you didn't take action. Like I'm trying to tell you, it's so easy to make money in antiques. And I learned a lot of that from being in car sales. Like every time I would do something, I would buy prospecting tools.
We got Jim here.
Hello, Jim DeLuca. To me, it was fun. Other people, it's work. It's work for somebody to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning. But holy mackerel, you're done by 10, 11 o'clock in the morning. So it's a couple hours and you make $1,000. The most I made in one day with some of these kids was $3,000 in one day. A lot of you guys would like to make that kind of money. To me, it was like taking candy from a baby. And, I tried looking for oddball stuff. If you any animal activists out there, please don't hate me. Because like these, I have 2 of them here. These are, hi, Peter. These are actually black rhino feet. And they're very rare. I bought them at an auction. No, I didn't get it. But they're for sale for $11,500. When I'm out somewhere I'm looking for oddball stuff that people don't have. Like that particular piece right there. I know not everybody's looking for that, but people with usually a lot of money are going to look at for like a collector's item or a conversation piece or something like that. And I'm in no hurry to sell it. I don't think there's 1 in 800 million people that have one. So I'm not in a hurry to sell that. But from Trevor coming here and doing our videos. By the way, it's on nationwideantiques.net. Go in there and look at all the stuff. If you think you know something about yard sales, flea markets, and antiques, you check all the things we have out there. I've been doing it for 30 some years, and I started that by luck when I had some of these young kids that didn't see their parents or in trouble and all that stuff. I teach them, you don't have to rob somebody or sell drugs to make money. Come on. So I have them get up in the morning and they come with me. We divvy up the money at the end. It's a great way to start, but you have to have, like Trevor, he said, I'll stop. I just want to see what it's like. Imagine if you did it a bunch of times a week, not just, just driving by. And
it's better than going to a job, right?
Well, yeah. See, to me, that was fun. I'm going to show you how we're going to talk a little bit about how you can get stuff and end up with $50,000 or $80,000 in a couple different things. Grab that print.
We got Rico here.
Hello, Rico. Here, grab that painting there.
Okay. Yeah.
I'm going to show you something I did a while ago. Now, it's pretty unique. I can sell this now for about $85,000. I don't know if you can see it. Now, this is an actual oil painting. Okay, I think it's pretty. It's about a deer up in Saskatchewan. Now, I lucked out years ago. I had this guy paint it, and he painted for Pennsylvania Game News. He was always on the front cover when he just started out. You can send it against the wall if you want it, so you don't get. And then right now, he travels all over the United States in the Bass Pro Shops inside. Well, that's him that does the painting, and it's an original. So, collecting stuff like that or having special things done that just goes up in value and time. And Trevor, you were here when I had different things with the coins and guns.
Yeah, we were shooting our video series. Like Fran said, you can find that on nationwideantiques.net. And Fran showed me everything that he's got here. And, that doesn't happen overnight. It's like me. I stopped by the yard sale one time and I was able to collect 5 boxes worth of VHS tapes. But, if, like Fran said, if I start doing that once or twice a week, 3 times a week when I see some yard sales, you can start to accumulate some stuff pretty quickly. And, it's super niche too. You can collect anything you want. It doesn't have to be one thing or another, find what you're interested in. That way you can have some fun with it.
Well, yeah, it's on the videos at this, what we sell.
Yeah.
And that's so true. Like to me, I'm an outdoorsman. I like hunting and fishing and all that other stuff. So if you buy a box of lures somewhere, it doesn't matter where, and you got an old fishing lure in there that's worth a couple dollars, take it out and put it aside. I had 30 grand worth of fishing lures here.
At least.
And the same way when, like this one flea market I go to, they sell silver and gold and coins there. Every time I'm there, take a little bit out of what you're making and go buy silver or gold. I mean, I have 10-ounce piece. I probably had 30, 40, 50 grand of coins sitting.
Piles of them.
What?
Piles of them.
Yeah. I mean, it'll add up over time. And the main thing is whatever business you have, once you start it, keep that business going. If you don't make enough money, let that business go under because it's not working. And you'll find right off the bat is, you got to think different. Like when I go with some of these kids somewhere, I don't want to take 30, 40, 50 pieces because you don't have that much compared to having 150, 200 pieces. And I don't like to buy dollar stuff, $2. I mean, I do have some, but I ask 4 times what I paid for it. If I think something's worth $40, say, I got to buy that thing for like $10. So when I ask 40, doesn't matter what they're going to do. It's no different than selling cars or anything else. They're going to ask for less. So at worst, I double my money. Where are you going to do that? What stock can you put in if you do that? Is that guaranteed? Unless you break it. So I go over a lot of different things, how to set up. What else we got? We spent three months doing this stuff. I drug this guy everywhere.
We were able to, film the whole process of selling, buying, auctions, flea markets, yard sales, all kinds of stuff, setting up, transporting your goods, how to price things like you were just mentioning, the real tactical way of setting up your booth to attract people the whole way back so they don't just kind of like look and just keep moving. There's a lot of great stuff that Frank covers that will really teach you how to do this the right way.
To me, it was fun. And when you get somebody You know what's really cool? You don't have to be a young buck to do this. Anybody can do it. And if you don't really want to work in the weekends, there's nothing wrong with making 30 or 40,000 on the side. It's like you were telling me earlier. You don't have to go out of your house and still sell money. What could they do?
Craigslist, eBay, Facebook Marketplace. If you got stuff in your house, you probably got a couple $100 sitting there right now, you know, stuff that you're not using that you can find in the closet, in the attic, in your garage, in your shed. There's probably stuff you haven't touched in years that might be worth some value to somebody. Who knows? You just got to take a few minutes and look.
Yeah. It's not that hard. And I'll tell you what's going to happen. The same thing happened to me. The same thing will happen to you. You know, if you are going to start it as a business, okay, and you buy something and you sell it and you make money, if you keep the money in that business, watch it explode in a year. I mean, you'll have tons of money on the side compared to not having any. I know a guy named Tom, you know, he started with $40. Right now he has 15 properties, and a couple of them are multi-unit properties. And I bump into him all the time, and he's still doing the same thing. And it's not work when you get up and just drive around and talk to people. I mean, it's a whole different lifestyle. Believe me when I tell you, 100 grand is not the most you can make selling antiques. Actually, Rico's on there. He was telling me about a guy bought something for like, I don't know if it was $4,500, but anyway, he just sold it for $4 million. You know, it's the same way they got that guy that bought a printing years ago, and on the back of the print was the Declaration of Independence. He sold that for $1 million or $2 million. I mean, that's rare to have that, but never going to find it if you don't go looking. The 11 goals that I have in my book, and that's at frantaylor.net. You know, if you start those 11 goals, and I don't care whatever show I'm on or where I'm speaking or anything, I'm going to talk about those 11 goals. And, you know, Trevor's going to own a house within a year. And I think that's outstanding. But, you know, when you were with me to Dallas, I took him to Dallas, and, you know, you got to get around millionaires and movers and shakers. I only known the guy for like
2 weeks.
2 weeks. I said, all right,
2 weeks.
Come with me. Come on, young man. Yep. We're going to Dallas.
Yep. Yeah. I learned a lot from you. I learned a lot from all the other speakers that were there at the convention, and you showed me a whole different side of things. And I saw things from one perspective. When it came to selling, whether it's cars, whether it's antiques, whether it's you name it, and you and the other speakers and presenters were able to kind of show me there's a different side of things, and not to just look at it one way. Open my mind up to the possibilities of how to sell, you know, with the prospecting tools. And like you said, your 11 goals, I thought about the 11 goals, and it gave me the motivation to want to learn how to sell even more. Do you know what I mean? It kickstarted me to myself. Do you know what I mean? So.
Well, the other thing too is Trevor's here every now and then when I get a call in real estate. And that's another part of this, you know, always keep looking for the bigger picture, the bigger idea. You know, when I sold cars, I wanted to make $100 a day. Then I wanted to make $1,000 a week, then $10,000 a month. Over time, from doing these different things, you know, then my goal was to make 100 grand a month. You know, last year my goal was to make $500,000 in one day. Next year my goal is to make $1 million in one day. And I bought a property for 40 grand. I sold it for 453. Now Trevor's here when I get some calls from realtors, man, I'm ready to go. I don't mess around with it. I mean, it's a now deal.
Yep.
And the big advantage is because if you have some money stockpiled sitting around, they want to do with it. They want to be with the movers and shakers.
Yep. Yeah. And I don't think there could be any better investment than investing in some real estate, because it appreciates it. You could just do so much with it. So,
well, I tell you what, and this antiques and stuff, it's just a way. Now, if you have a big dream, I mean, I see a lot of these guys selling real estate stuff on there that, you know, they want you to go buy 15-unit apartment. Well, you need a little bit of ching down to buy that, or have to have an investor, you know. And right now, you know, if you have a real estate property, if you're a first-time home buyer, it's like Trevor here, you know, if you can get a 6 or 8 unit, you can get in there dirt cheap. If you live in there, man, it's peanuts. You don't need a lot of money down compared to it's still a first-time home buyer compared to buying a single-family house with no income.
Yeah.
So, you know, have a long-term plan, not just I'm going to sell antiques and flea market stuff. So if you get abundance of money, take that money, invest it. I tell my son all the time, He's got a real good job. He makes good money. But I said, hey, if you want to keep, this is the first year he can't get off to go deer hunt. That makes him a little upset. I said, you know what? There's only one way out of that. Get in your own business, and that way you can come and go what you want. Nobody can stop you when it's your business. But you don't want to make a little bit. You want to make a lot. And if you start to figure out, how can I make a lot of money? And this is all legal stuff, too. Not counting the tax write-offs you get. But with a tax number, you can deduct 55 cents a mile. Even if you're going on vacation, stop at an antique place, you can deduct the airfare, food, hotel room, car rental. That's all deducted. Yep. And what's kind of neat is when you just give it a shot. So anyway, you got anything you want to add before we take off here?
Just what you're teaching is the truth. It doesn't get much more simple than this. I wish I would have looked into stuff like this sooner, and I'm excited for next summer when it's warm again, and this is a little more enjoyable going out on the weekends to start yard selling, because I'm definitely going to be getting involved some way, shape, or form, because I know that there's huge potential, and it's one man's trash is another man's treasure.
I hear you. Any questions on there?
We got some people saying hi. We got Rico, Peter,
Rico,
Jim.
Who's at the bottom?
No, that was it. Jim, Peter, and Rico.
Hey, well, if you guys want to learn more about it, check out Nationwide Antiques.
Should see if they have any questions for you. You got 11 people watching here. If anybody got any questions.
Anybody got a question before we go here?
Type it in and ask away.
Talk to me there.
Yep. If not, well,
I hear you. You can have a lot of fun. Doesn't matter what business you're in, what you do. And I can tell you this, the longer you do it, the better you get at it. Like, there's always little tricks, like take a little pen. If you got something black that's nicked up, just color code it, get you an extra 10, 20 bucks. There's so many things you can do out there to learn. And it's no different than selling cars. When I started to sell cars, people are going to tell you can't do it. And I can tell you that most people won't do it. It's not that they can't. This is America. If you can't make it in America, you're not going to make it. And I'll tell you this.
Got a question here from Peter. Best way to find volume overstock items easy to resell?
Well, I tell you what, the day we made that $3,000. Thanks for asking the question, Peter.
Yep.
We went to, it was about an hour and a half from here. It was outside of Selinsgrove. It was a hunting and fishing place going out of business. Well, I drove all the way up there by myself, and they were selling fishing lures that sell for like $10, $12, $14 at these sports stores or sportsman places. And it was 42 to 46 in a bag. There was like 16 or 17 bags. I bought all of them, every bag they had, for $17 a bag. Well, hell, that was like having like 60, 70 cents in one lure, and I was selling them for $4.50. They had catgut hooks. It's a hook with a little piece of nylon on. There was 500 of them in a box. There were 6 boxes. I paid $6 a box. So I had 3,000 hooks that I was selling $1 a piece. So, yeah, there's plenty of places like that. If you go on auctionzip.com, just punch in auction zip and punch on there, put in there estate sales, whatever. Put your zip code in and then how many miles you want to go, whether it's 50 miles, 100 miles, 200 miles. It'll show you every auction around in your area. So don't miss on that. Or if you want to type in estate sales, if you want to just collect guns, type in guns at the top. Type in whatever you want, glassware, furniture, it doesn't matter. It'll tell you in your area what's for sale, and then you go to. It'll tell you the times, but you got to be cautious. I would call them up because some of them charge a buyer's premium, which is 10%. Some of them don't charge anything. But when I went up there, I went to buy. I bought just about everything they had, but that's the day I turned the stuff into $3,000. People were buying 40, 50 hooks at a time because it was a third of what everybody else was, the stores were selling them. So that's a good question, Peter. I appreciate that.
Yep. Thanks, Peter.
All right, well, we're going to end it up here. Hey, guys, look, if you ever want to get into this, check out nationwideantiques.net. And I go over everything there, how to advertise cheap. I'll give you an example. Some of these guys are spending $20 to advertise in the newspaper. I spend $2 because I put it under miscellaneous. So I spend $100 a year, and they're spending $1,200. So there are a lot of techniques you can learn by doing this, and I share all that stuff with you on the videos. And I probably would have never did if it wouldn't be for Trevor, to be honest with you. I drug that poor guy all over the place.
I had so much fun learning all kinds of new stuff. So
anyway, all right, thanks everybody for watching. You have a wonderful day.
Yep. See you, everybody.